Robert, will you feel fine to get started?
It's up to you, Lindsay. I
Okay.
if you want to get started,
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It's 6:30. We have a lot of things to get through tonight. Okay. So welcome to the Community Board 8 Street Life meeting. Any action that happens at this committee is going to go to a full board vote on Wednesday, May 15th. You're welcome to join us there. Please address all comments that you have tonight to me or my co-chair Abraham when he joins, because we'd like to avoid crosstalk. I'd also like to remind everyone to please observe the norms of decorum. We're all here to get to a communal outcome. I also would remind us all to be succinct and try to keep comments to the merits of each individual application. Before we get into it more, I'll turn this over for Robert to give us the rules of the road for this meeting.
thank you, Lindsay. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you're currently muted and that everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except the committee co-chairs Lindsay and Abraham and any presenters. As we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call members of the public who wish to speak. You can participate by going to the react icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or the thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in from the phone, it is *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Please be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs calls. Once the co-chairs call on you, the chat is available for technical support only. To help with Zoom software problems. Not to ask questions of the co-chairs or the presenters, they won't see these chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you need to go to the participants section where you'll find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Lindsay, back to you.
Thank you very much, Robert. Okay, for our applicants tonight, I'd please like you to identify if you have any outdoor space that you plan to be operating in. I'd like you to also talk about if you have hours that are operational beyond midnight. If you have food ratios where your revenues are made with 60% of food or less. And then also if you'll identify yourselves if you fall within a school or church zone. Finally, as all of our applicants are required to post signage of this meeting, I would like to remind you to please remove those signs as soon as you can once this meeting is over. How we'll do this is I'll first go to members of the public for any comments or questions on these applications, and then to fellow board members. Up first, we'd like to hear from a representative from 1379 Water and Wheat LLC. If you are here representing that group, if you can please raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
And people keep checking and everybody wind up getting up.
Hello, hi, this is Aurelia. I'm here on behalf of Water and Wheat. Sorry, guys, I'm on another line. I'm not a board meeting. Is Water and Wheat up is Water and Wheat being up for consideration?
It is. Would you like us to go to someone else and come back to you?
No, it's okay. Hold on one second. Let me on. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aurelia Tavares. I'm the representative for 1379 Water and Wheat. We are here today for the Sidewalk Cafe approval. The community, now the Sidewalk Cafe regulations have changed. So the Sidewalk Cafe is now requiring that we get community support for the application, and we'd like to have your support. This is a small business, under 70 in capacity. They sell pasta, and they want to be able to sell, their food outside on an outdoor cafe.
Okay, can you tell us about the hours of your establishment?
Yes, the establishment is open till 2 a.m., but really not. That's not for the outdoor cafe, we want to close at 10, 11 p.m. nothing past any unreasonable hours.
Okay, and then I see in your application that you also plan to have live music. Is that something that's going to happen indoors or outside?
It's indoors. We're not allowed to have any outdoor music or speakers. It would be indoors and it's non-amplified and it's acoustic. So we're not trying to go over any type of, it's for the weekend brunches and for a Cinco de Mayo, for something cute like that.
Okay, are there any members of the public that have questions or comments for this?
And Lindsay, before you move on, I just want
And
to
just
make
so you
sure.
know, he closes at 9:30 PM is what he just texted me generally, just so you
Hi-
know, and there's
Hi,
no
Aurelia.
real music at the
Aurelia,
location.
your
Sorry.
application for outdoor dining has not been referred to our office yet. You're only here for a liquor license application. So I wanted it to be clear, the DOT has not referred your application for outdoor dining to us.
No, what they're asked, it actually went, what happened was the borough president declined disapproved it went to the borough president's office. And all the community boards are required to chime in on the outdoor dining. It's a mess right now. I don't understand what they're doing. They will refer it to you again because we came to get the support of the community board for his outdoor dining.
No, you're here for a liquor license. It's not for the outdoor dining. You'll have to come back for that. That is a fact.
We came in for a liquor. We already have a liquor. We already came for wine and beer. We have a wine and beer license, ladies and gentlemen. It was approved by the liquor authority. It's already been approved by your community board. What we're here for is the additional section because outdoor dining permits their wine and beer to be served outside in the 2 tables that they want outside. So that's why we are here to gain the community support.
Sure. I'm the district manager. The DOT refers the applications for outdoor dining to our office. I'm just telling you that the DOT has not referred your application from their office to our office. So it has not been deemed ready to go from their office. What you're here for is for the SLA to approve the service outside on the municipal street.
Yes.
And that's why earlier the flyer was not for.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that we can clear up now. We see in your application, it's an amendment that's adding the sidewalk to have service there, but it's not, this is not a question of permitting that sidewalk cafe. It's a question of once that gets permitted, will you have a liquor license that permits you to do that outside? Is that clear?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So that's what we're talking about. Is there any member of the public that has a question? Seeing none, let's go to costs.
I'm confused. If we're, excuse me, if we're not here in the sidewalk, how can we approve the liquor license for the sidewalk?
My understanding of this is that there's like an order of operations thing that is confusing. But this is saying what if we were to permit a sidewalk cafe, they would then already have the approval to serve liquor in their sidewalk cafe.
Okay. So they already have a liquor. Oh, okay.
They have an indoor liquor license.
Okay. Are there any structures, permanent structures on the sidewalk or in the street?
No.
Okay. Will you be applying for street dining?
Not at this time, but we want to reserve the right to do so. We want to see how it goes with the outdoor first.
Okay.
Because
Thank
it's
you.
a very expensive license right now. I don't know
Good
if you
luck.
guys know, it's a little pricey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Marco?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to know, are you the counselor? Who are you? I'm sorry.
I'm the representative of the liquor license and the outdoor cafe. The
You're a
owner is on
counselor?
the call as well. No, I am a JD. I'm not, I don't have a counselor. I'm not the attorney. I'm the representative.
You're the expediter.
Yeah, the representative, correct.
Okay, you're the expediter. Well, since it's the first time, it's hard to approve something that we don't know how many chairs there are outside. What is the space that they leave for the walking, for the pedestrians? We don't have no information. and the district manager is correct. No, we don't receive anything from DOT. I mean, it's myself. I have. If you want to complain, you should complain to DOT, not to the community board, because we receive the information and we process your information according with that. So, personal myself, I prefer that you should go back to them and ask to refer the application, and then we can review from that.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
Is there anyone else from the board that has any thoughts, questions, or would like to make a motion?
You have Kaz's hand up. I don't know if that's him raising his hand again, and Addison's hand up as well.
Okay, let's do Addison and then Cos.
Trying to think how I wanted to do this. All right, I will make a motion to approve this as it is presented, conditional upon approval of the DOT street license. So basically, I know that there's an order of operations thing. I think it'd be a mess for you to have to come back from the DOT end for this. So I would say I'm okay with this, conditional upon approval from the DOT one.
Okay, so you're thinking, Addison, like a stipulation that says we would approve this conditional on once they come back and we approve that they can have a sidewalk cafe?
Exactly. It's sort of like a statistics thing. Like given the approval, we will approve this. So yeah.
Okay. Cos?
Yeah, again, my question, I thought you just said that we approve the SLA first, then we approve the DOT. So what does the space or seats or tables have anything to do with SLA?
So it's not, my understanding of this is that it's not necessarily that it's going to be that way every time. It is that way this time. And so we'll have a question of like the seats and the sidewalk when that's put to us, and presuming that we are okay with whatever the seats and the sidewalk, this is just a question of whether or not we're okay with them serving alcohol outside.
So why should there be any stipulations then?
Like you're saying, why?
They're not gonna be able to serve until they have the outdoor.
I'm okay taking away the stipulations. I thought the stipulations would be something that would help other people get on board. I'm okay just approving it as is.
If I may chime in, just as somebody who's been following the whole process for the DOT and the SLA, I will say this: if you want to have any stipulations on how they conduct their business out on the sidewalk, the DOT is going to be less receptive to any stipulations, like time that they want to close or number of tables or et cetera, other than what's directly in their DOT application. That's where you're going to need to put it in for the SLA. So you're going to want to have some stipulations that are going to be enforceable by the SLA, because the DOT is not going to accept as many stipulations or as many types and put those into their actual like license.
Okay, so you're saying that we haven't seen that application, right? Because we don't have that.
Exactly.
You're saying we need to make up stipulations now, anticipating what that could possibly say.
Unfortunately, yes. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what the practice has been uptown and in a couple of the midtown community boards. They want order in their community. So there's some uptown, they don't let people after 11 have the Jackson laws. They weren't enacted, but they're followed. They don't like sidewalk cafes after 11 p.m. They don't want people serving or eating. You can have a stipulation 10 p.m. My client closes at 9:30 p.m. So a 10 p.m. Stipulation with no service outside for him is fine. So if you want to add, pending the application coming from DOT, this, even though they enacted this practice and this procedure, that doesn't mean that it's a flawless procedure. And it may be before the end of the summer, before you even get one approved, because of the way they operate at this time. And it really hurts our owners, because summer is here now. If we could get something where even if they're serving food or something, so that they can at least, because if they're serving outside of the parameters of their permit or what's permitted by New York City, they will deal with New York City and the Department of Consumer Affairs, whether it's fines or penalties. But this is a small location. We've shown you it's 2 tables, 3 tables max. The occupancy is less than 70. I think with staff, it's 60 or even less than that. But more importantly, summer's here and this is, our businesses are struggling. He's struggling. I literally had a call from him every second of the day just to get the wine and beer license because it was a constant struggle and it has helped him. So this would help him and it would help, I'm sure, a lot of your owners. Plus, they're supposed to be removable now, so they get taken back inside. There's not going to be a nuisance. You know, the one that I would concern myself would be a big deal would be the one on the street that seems to concern the community because of parking and things of that nature. This is not one that we expect to be one that should be giving you trouble. These guys are over 50. I don't see where this could hurt any of your owners.
I made the initial resolution, so I'm okay keeping it as it is, where there's no stipulations or
It's implied.
except the yeah, exactly.
But again, the law now is you can serve alcohol to go. So what's stopping somebody getting alcohol to go and sitting if they put tables outside? So can we get a guarantee that they're not going to put tables and chairs outside until the outdoor cafe gets approved? See, we're in a flux with everything now. It's a mess.
So then, that sounds like putting Addison's stipulation back in.
Not really, not the stipulation, but for a guarantee from the representative.
Well, technically, we're not supposed to put out tables until we get our permit from DOT.
Right.
So it's implied, it's imperative that we follow because that could affect the permit itself. So I'm not sure it's even necessary. And these aren't the type of guys who are going to they're not, that's not this owner and his partner. Like I said, they haven't violated yet.
Okay, I'm fine with that. My next question is the outdoor. Under the old rules, during the week it was 10 o'clock and Friday and Saturday was what, 12 o'clock? Has that changed?
I think the city says, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked at them lately, was midnight and then you guys get to chime in on the hours if they're earlier or changed, if I'm not mistaken.
So that means the outdoor is open till 12 every night, 7 days a week. That sounds...
That's why the community board needs to chime in.
Because we can set a different guideline there.
Oh, definitely. Correct. Well, we have one later on, don't we? Don't we have a DOT later? Don't we have a DOT later on?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we'll thrash it out then. I'm fine with approving this application.
Okay, Marco?
Yeah, this is point of order, Madam Chair. We don't have a motion because the motion was speak and was spoke and nobody second. Therefore, no motion on the floor. And he cannot put the motion. Somebody else can put the motion, then we can move forward. But personally, myself, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with this application. There is not anything that tell me except that they're gonna do that or not. But in any event, right now they can do legal or illegal because it's a mess everywhere. So everybody do what, legal or illegal. So myself, I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what can I say it, but I don't know what will be my decision. Thank you.
Okay, Russell?
Motion to approve is presented, and if it's seconded, I'll speak to it.
Okay. Addison? Or are there any seconds for this?
I was going to second it, but can I make a friendly amendment?
Yeah.
I would actually, just because the applicants sort of suggested it themselves, I would suggest maybe a 10 p.m. Sort of backup time for the outdoor dining.
Yeah, I accept that. So yeah, I accept that stipulation. So it sounds to me, as I understand what we're talking about, basically the process for all of these, and it's kind of unwieldy, is that the sidewalk cafe goes to SLA first and then goes to DOT. And so I think rather than having a stipulation for every single sidewalk cafe SLA application saying, provided that you also get approval from DOT, I think it's sort of baked in that, yes, they need to get the approval that they need to legally operate. So I don't think we should plan to include that for every single one of these applications that we get. And I think, and I take Will's suggestion that basically we make sort of substantive stipulations now, which Addison's amendment is, and I understand is agreed by the applicant. So, so that's why I've made the motion that I have. So I think we should include the operating hour limitation that the applicant agreed to, but I don't think we should include the point about DOT.
Okay, that seems fair to me. So we have a motion to approve this. It's seconded. Judy?
I agree with Russell, and I think if we're going to use 10 o'clock, we should use 10 o'clock for all the outdoor cafes. So that could just be baked into our resolutions where it's necessary.
Okay, that sounds fine. I can put these stipulations in each of these. Barbara?
I second.
Just call the
Okay.
question.
Yep, can we call the question instead?
I call the question.
If anyone is voting against this motion to approve or abstaining for any reason, please let me know. And
And
Rob,
Lynn-
I have a count of 11.
Yep, and I'll run through who I have just to make sure that we're not missing anyone. Lindsay Cormack, Russell Squire, Addison Lev, Barb Rutter, Bill Angelos, Brian Christ, our public member, Kaz Spagnelli, Evan Myerson, Judy Schneider, Casey Lally, our other public member, Margaret Tamayo, and Robin Seligson.
That is what I have as well. Okay, so if there's anyone who's voting no, abstaining, not voting for cause, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous approval. Okay, thank you. Let's move to our next applicant.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Forgive me if I say this incorrectly, but it's Cuca Wine Bar and Kitchen Inc. I think I see Olga shaking her head. Robert, if you can unmute Olga.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Olga. This is Oleg.
We have the same name, and you pronounced it correctly, Kyuka. It's
Okay,
the name
great.
of the lake in the Finger Lakes in upstate New York.
Oh, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the operation of your business?
Okay, so we had for 11 years we had a wine bar, and which turned into a restaurant in Forest Hills, Queens. We feel that we're ready to expand. We really like the neighborhood, and so we're trying to open something that's going to be more of a restaurant than a bar. That we're applying for beer and wine and cider license. We're hoping to have the sales of 70% food and 30% wine. We are going to have a majority of our seats will be dining room seats and some bar. We're not right away after this conversation, we're not looking to put anything outside of the place, not on a sidewalk, not on a street. We actually didn't like it during the pandemic in our place, and just want to keep everything inside. We're gonna have recorded background music, no live music under any circumstances. We're both chefs, we're both managers. We're gonna run the place. We're gonna run. We hired the manager to run our location that we have right now. So we're gonna dedicate all our time, and we really hope to make it in your neighborhood, which we really like.
On the hours of operation, just because this was a question for previous applicant. We close the kitchen at 9 on weekdays and at 10 Fridays and Saturdays, and we're planning on being closed on Monday.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members of the public that have questions? Seeing none, let's start with Kos.
Yeah, I'm going to move this along. I move to approve as represented, as presented.
Okay. I'll ask for a second, but first I see Suzanne J has her hand raised. Suzanne?
Yes, hi. Are you unmuting me?
You are unmuted.
Thank you. I'm wondering if Oleg and Olga, if you are planning also to have delivery of foods.
No.
If you're
No. So there are no bikes. They're going to be parked anywhere.
Only pickup. We don't.
Only pickup. We don't believe in deliveries. It's unsafe. We prefer that you come over and enjoy our food
We don't
with a
deliver.
knife and fork, like
We
normal.
don't deliver from our original place either.
okay.
Okay, thank you. So
And
we have
one other question, sorry. And
What?
how many tables approximately? You said a small bar and then tables.
So we're gonna have 36 people sitting. We're thinking of doing a community table, so we didn't start the construction yet. So there's gonna be seating for 36 people. How many exact tables we didn't decide yet, and the bar will have 12 seats.
And we're not filling to capacity. We're not packing this. So we're planning on accommodating 48 patrons at a time, but no more than that. So then everyone is comfortable in the neighborhood. It doesn't feel stressed out by the crowds.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve from costs. Barbara?
I would like to ask questions. I'm not sure where it is. Are you like that's you go down the few stairs? There's been
Right
something.
next to the dry cleaners on the other side of the entrance to the building.
Is it ADA accessible? I remember just having stairs.
It is, yes. There is a ramp, yes.
There is
and
a
this
ramp.
used to be many years ago. We know there was a restaurant. We met
There's
a
been
few
a
neighbors.
couple.
Right. So this
Good
was
luck.
a restaurant, and there's all the ventilation. Everything has been approved.
And there's a ramp, yes.
And ADA bathrooms and everything
Yes.
like that. Okay, good luck in that location.
Thank you.
Be there. What type of food?
Well, from all over the world, mostly charcuterie boards. That's what we're famous for.
What is it? I'm sorry, say it again.
The meat and cheese charcuterie boards. We have
okay.
oysters.
We specialize also in seasonal menus, like holiday menus. Like we have special things for Passover, for Easter, for Mother's Day, for
Wonderful.
Father's Day.
Great. Thank
and,
you. Okay.
wine dinners. That's a very special event.
Okay. Just want to make sure it was ADA accessible. I couldn't picture.
Thank you.
That. Okay. I know the location. Thank you.
Marco?
Yeah, you just mentioned that you're doing the construction. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You just mentioned that you are going to do, or you doing the construction.
No,
Is that
we didn't
correct?
start anything yet. We decided to have this meeting
There's
first.
just cosmetic work. There was an existing restaurant, so all the plumbing and electricity is already in place.
But you modify or not?
We're
Floor plan,
not
no.
modifying anything. We're just keeping where the kitchen used to be in an old location is going to be exactly in the same place.
Same layout.
Yes, same layout.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think, sorry about the noise. I think we included the floor plan with the application, so you can see that we actually use the existing layout for, and that includes the mezzanine and basement floor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Haven't had a second. Okay, Robin, I see that. And then Bill. Robert, will you want? Yeah.
Yeah, call the question.
Perfect. So on this consideration, if you are not voting for cause or voting against or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous approval.
And Lindsay, I just want to make sure that you have Addison away from the computer.
Okay, so this will be an 10-0. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
and
Thank you.
We hope to see you
We
soon.
hope to see you.
Let's move on to the next applicant, which is Florine LLC, doing business as Bar Florine. Michael Kelly.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Julie Bramowitz, the owner, is with me. This is a tavern wine application for Florine LLC, DBA Bar Florine. We're located at 163 East 92nd Street between 3rd and Lexington Avenues. The premises was formerly occupied by Des Fonts, which was a French bookstore. We're a small wine bar with a limited menu. There are no deliveries. Our hours of operation are 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, and 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Sunday. We have background music. We may have non-amplified jazz type music once in a while. All music would be inside. We have 9 tables with 26 seats and an 8-foot, 5-seat bar, all located on the 480 square foot first floor. We do have a basement that'll just be used for storage and employees. There's no backyard, no roof deck. We may apply for sidewalk cafe in the future. We'd come back for that, and that would consist of 2 tables and 4 seats. There are opening windows that will close by 8 p.m. during the week and 9 p.m. on the weekends. If they become a problem with our neighbors, they will be closed permanently. There was soundproofing installed by the previous occupant in the ceiling. There are commercial stores adjacent to us on both sides. We are ADA accessible. Julie will be there every day. She has worked in the hospitality industry since 2016 and while in college. She found this opportunity to open up her own business, which was a lifelong dream, to share her love of wine. She does live less than a mile in CB8, so if she's not at the wine bar and there's a problem, she can be there in 10 minutes. And if Julie would like to say something, please do.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Again, I'm really excited to open this business in the neighborhood. I was working as the wine director at the Carlisle Hotel up until last summer, and took that opportunity to revitalize their wine program, got them a Wine Spectator Best Award of Excellence, and brought in a lot of smaller production wines, natural wines, bringing in a different type of clientele to make that hotel a wine destination. And during that time, I noticed that there were very few other places in the neighborhood that weren't sit-down restaurants per se, where people could go, wine lovers could go, just for a dedicated wine bar with small plates. So I'm trying to create that experience for people in the neighborhood, as well as bring in people from other neighborhoods or people who are visiting New York from elsewhere in the country or around the world. Certainly this area has a lot of traffic to the museums, to the 92nd Street Y. The idea is that it's sort of a destination for people to gather after they've attended a cultural event, or maybe, to unwind after work. Food will be, limited to start, but the kitchen will be equipped in a way that we could certainly entertain pop-ups with visiting chefs or partner with the neighboring bookstore, Kitchen Arts and Letters, on maybe like a pop-up event as well. So.
Okay, and can you all tell me, just so we're clear, you are applying in this application not only for a liquor license indoors, but also to be able to serve liquor in your sidewalk cafe?
No, this is just for inside. If we apply for a sidewalk cafe, we'll come back for the sidewalk cafe and an alteration.
Okay, all right, thank you. I see Dean Evans from the public.
Hey, good afternoon, or good evening. My partner and I own a small rental building just up the street from there, actually 2 buildings up. And we're actually excited that a business like this is coming to the block. Some of you may remember many years ago, it was an Italian restaurant and it was actually charming on the block. Our concern is not for the business, but some issues that the owner may run into. This particular building is plagued with a serious rat infection. The way that the sanitation is handled for the rental portion of the buildings, the tenants in the rear of the building tend to go out and just throw their trash out into the courtyard and not place them into the dumpsters because they're afraid of the mice and rats that are back there. ourselves and the super of 145 East 92nd Street supply the super of 153 East 92nd Street with rat traps and bait. And currently he's catching between 2 to 10 adult rats daily. And this restaurant may not be able to operate sanitary, in a sanitary condition with the current rat infestation in the basement of the building, as well as in the rear sides of this building. So it's more, our concern is it going to only further the rat infestations in this building? And I just think the owner of this bar needs to know what she may be up against.
Michael or Julie, if you'd like to respond to this.
I'll respond to it. I've been doing health department consulting with restaurants, inspecting restaurants for over 30 years, and we'll be doing the same here. And the last thing Julie wants is a rat running through a restaurant. So we would make the premise basically rat tight.
Wonderful. I mean, the owners of the building will not make the necessary steps to control the rats. So neighbors are actually helping the super control the rats. And it's the trash bags in the morning on trash days are ripped apart from these rats. So it's just something that you need to be aware of that really may become an issue for you.
We appreciate that, Dean.
Okay.
Other than that, we would love her to be on our block.
Yeah, she seems wonderful.
We like her already. I would love to see this on our block.
Yeah, and have it be successful.
Okay, thank you. This sounds great, and it sounds like Michael and Julie are committed to doing what they can to make sure that they don't have a rat problem as well. Let's go to Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve and then to speak. Is anybody can second?
Any seconds? I see Barbara. Yep.
Okay. The issue, I mean, I would like to have a stipulation, especially in the way that they are promised that it has to be rat tight. That's the expression that he used. I think it's reasonable. In addition, I reviewed the application. I think you have a letter of no objection, which basically you can operate an RAV, which I don't like that, but once you have the letter of no objection for DOB, I think it's perfectly legal to use that space. I think that's pretty much what I said. Thank you.
Okay, so hear what stipulation you want.
The stipulation is the rat. They has to have a serious control of the rats in that part, in that venue.
Okay, so a stipulation that says something like,
I mean, it's good for the business, it's good for the neighborhood. And in any event, also the expediter here said that he's willing to do that. I think that's the right direction to go.
Okay. Cost?
Yeah, call the question.
Okay, great. So,
one other thing, getting back to what Marco said about the rat, aren't restaurants supposed to have solid rat-proof bins now? So the stipulation is meaningless. It is what it is.
I don't disagree with you, but that's what we have here.
Yep, I'm fine. Call the question.
So the question is called. Russell, you want to say something?
Sorry, did we include all the hours and stuff in the stipulations too?
There
were a bunch of discussions about when the windows are going to be closed and all that kind of stuff. I would propose.
No, we don't have. You want to add those things in.
That's a friendly amendment that I would propose to include all that stuff in the stipulations.
That is perfectly fine. I think, thank you, Rosso, for these comments. I think he described all of this, and it's better to have as a stipulation. Thank you.
Okay, so Michael, I have that your windows are closing at 8 p.m. Will you remind me the hours?
The windows 8 p.m. during the week, 9 p.m. during the weekends. The 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday. 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, and 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay.
All the information's in the documentation we sent to the committee board. So that would be our method of operation. Whether
Okay.
it's on a stipulation or not, we have no problem with it being on the stipulation.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think the hours of operation are typically included, but stuff about like Windows specifically, I wasn't sure if that was going to be on the form or what, so just want to make sure that was there.
Okay, so Russell, are you fine keeping that to Windows because the hours are included on this and we know that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, okay, thank you. Okay, so the motion on the floor that we have a vote to take on is Flooring LLC with the two stipulations. One, they will undertake rat remediation as necessary. Two is that the windows will close at 8 p.m. in the week and 9 p.m. on the weekends. If you are voting against this, abstaining or not voting for cause, please let me know.
And Lindsay Addison is
Okay,
still away,
and
so
10-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on now to, yeah, thanks. APQ Carnegie Hill, New York. Are you here? If you are, if you can raise your hand and Robert can unmute you. Looks like Anthony Fernandez, perhaps.
Hello, how are you doing, everybody?
Hi, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, so Le Punk with CDN. It's a Belgium bakery inspired cafe. We have a daytime concept, 7 to 7, depending on location, give or take, maybe 1 hour. This would just be a great addition to our revenue. Typically, per location, it varies between 2% and 6%. We don't have any rowdy clients. We don't make any noise. We never had any complaints with other locations. This just simply to complement our menu. We have salads, sandwiches, croissants, a lot of different pastries. We have a collection about 2 or 3 beers and wines, and it's just simply to help us with the sales. Like I said, we have a scheduling of 7 to 7, 7 days a week.
Okay, thank you. And you already have an outside sidewalk cafe?
No, not yet, but we're in. This is. I'm sorry. I'm on the call for 3 locations. So
We're
this is
talking about
1270.
1309 Avenue.
Yes, yes. Mhm. And we're on the process of submitting our new application as well.
Okay, thank you.
And we certainly will be back if necessary.
Okay. Are there any members of the public that have questions for Anthony? Okay, otherwise, I'll go to Marco and then Judy.
Yeah, I would like to put a motion, and then to speak. The motion will be approved. Is anybody can
Okay.
second?
Anyone? I see Barbara. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think this place is very completely is a bakery, and we should approve without no problem. And thank you.
Okay, Judy.
I'm sorry, I didn't print out the agenda. Which one of the Le Pen quotidians are we hearing now? Is this the First Avenue one?
this is the Carnegie Hill
Lexington
Lexington
Avenue.
Avenue.
Okay, sorry. My question is for the First Avenue.
Okay. Barbara.
Call the question.
Perfect.
It's a great addition to our neighborhood. I like it.
Okay, so if there's anyone who's going to vote no, abstain, not vote for cause, please let me know. Robin, I see you waving. I'm not sure. Okay, you're fine. Okay. All right, so this will go down as a unanimous approval, and it looks like this is going to be another 10-0. Thank you so much. Anthony, are you going to be who's talking to us about the First Avenue location as well?
Correct. Yes. Which is East 72nd.
I am seeing an application for one that's at East 68th and East 69th.
That might be the accurate address. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Is it the same sort of setup, or is there other things to be aware of in this location?
The sailboat location, which is located in the park, it's a bit different. We don't have any inside seating. So we have about 60 chairs and 30 tables outside, but no inside seating. This is just
Anthony, this is the First Avenue location.
First Avenue, yeah.
Oh no, yeah, exactly the same for the First Avenue. Sorry.
Okay, so you're saying First Avenue is similar rundown to what you just said for Lexington Avenue?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, Judy, I think you have a question on this one though.
Mhm.
Yeah, is this for tables and chairs outside?
No. So we're in the process of submitting our application for outside seating. But this, I'm just here for the inside 98 seats inside.
Okay.
All
right, I just want to say, so we will hear the outside. That's
Mhm.
kind of a very crowded street. It's
Mhm.
right near all the hospitals, and putting tables and chairs out at that location. I support you people. Your food is terrific. It's a
Mhm.
great place to eat. Might be difficult. I hope you're not planning on a lot of tables and chairs. My only comment.
Yeah, I'll definitely bring that up.
Cost.
Move to approve and call the question.
Ooh, a combo.
Two in one.
Seconding, Barbara's doing it too. Seems like we're in favor of this. All right. So if there's anyone who's voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please let me know. Otherwise, this will also go down as a 10-0 approval. Barbara, Marco, your hands are all up, but you're taking them down. Or okay. All right. Okay, perfect. So now, thank you very much. Now we are moving to the next portion of the applications, our change in applications to the the New York State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses. And this is now, Anthony, where we are going to talk about the sailboat location.
Yes. Correct. So it is an upgrade. We just want to include our 2 to 3 selection for wines and beers. Like I said before, it's a 60 chair location, 30 tables. It's ADA compliant. No tables inside. This is just like I said, a park addition.
And you are authorized to do this through like a special agreement with the Parks Department as well, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have, of course, they are notified of everything that we're using.
Okay. Are there any questions, comments from members of the public? Kaz, I'll go to you.
So currently, I can go up to the counter, buy a drink, and go sit anywhere. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Even though it's outside of your table service area.
Yes.
So you're allowing drinks to be sold to anybody walking through the park rather than in your sit-down area?
Well, no, just to be clear. So what we try to avoid is what we're doing is a full service, serving our clients with their food. So this is not something that we intend to walking up the window and serving liquor. But what we're trying to intend is actually having a full service for our clients to sit down.
So in other words, you will not serve anybody at the counter alcohol? Because at the moment you have a separate area for sit-down table service. Then there's other tables scattered around that anybody can sit at. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
So you will only be serving drinks by waiters, by table service. You will not be serving drinks at the counter.
Correct, yes.
Okay, I think I would like that in the stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Judy?
Do you still have restroom facilities at that location? And will they be open to the public?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Marco?
Yeah, I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve and then to speak. Is anybody can second?
I see Robin. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think I would like to see the stipulation that COS just did and as a part of the approval, and that's extremely important. The rest I think is perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay, so to be clear for Marco and Cos, the stipulation right now says that alcohol will only be served to clients sitting down for service. Walk-up purchases, alcohol will be prohibited. Yep. Okay. Barb.
Yeah, that's fine, Nancy. Because that location is a very tricky location, because there used to be sitting, anybody could go sit anywhere, but now they've cordoned off the table area. So as long as the waiters serve the drinks, that should be fine.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Barbara.
I am very confused about this. There was never wait service. Are you saying that a waiter will come and get the drink for you, or you get it online and then be expected to sit in the area? I don't understand what this is and why it's different from any other place.
That place used to be able to, you could go up to the counter, buy food and sit anywhere.
I understand. I've been there
What
many
they
times.
they have done now is cordoned off an area, and all the park Panko DDNs have done, they've cordoned off an area that is strictly table service.
So there is a waiter. That's what I'm asking.
Correct. Yes.
Anthony, there's a waiter now there that would serve liquor?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so we have
I
a
will
motion.
second or call the question or whatever else there is to do.
Great, Barbara, I'll call the question. That sounds good. If anyone's voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as another 10-0 unanimous approval. Okay. Thank you. And I think, Anthony, that's the last LaPon. Is that correct?
Yes, that's all.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Next, we're going to hear from CLGM Inc. doing business as Yesvi Estatorio. Robert, can you please unmute their representative?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, I hope?
We can.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So my name is John Mitchell. I'm an attorney. Been practicing for like over 50 years. I have my client over here, Steve, which is in Greek is Stamatios Vlastaris. And I also have my paralegal, Evie F. Karpidis, as well. So not too much fanfare on this one. We've been in business for, I would say, over 13 years. My client became a partner in the business over 5.5 years ago and has been managing the premises. This is simply a corporate change. One of the principals, the former principal, is leaving or has left. And my client, who has been running the place basically for 5.5 years, is now going to be running it as 100% owner rather than a 50% owner. Other than that, there's really no change in the operation, no change in the hours, no change in the kitchen. I believe if anybody has visited the place, you'll find that my client serves superior Greek food, Greek cuisine. I believe he's an asset to the neighborhood. We're on York Avenue between 78th and 79th Street. We're not a big place, rather small place. We don't have music except for possibly some background music. Essentially, it is a place where you go and have a nice dinner and hopefully have a glass of wine or beer or whatever with you.
Okay. And so to be absolutely clear, nothing is changing about the way that the business is operating, sidewalks, hours. It's just going to be that one person is owning all of it instead of a split ownership in the past.
That's pretty much it. The only thing that is changing is my client now has to put in a few more hours because he doesn't have his partner anymore. But that's okay with his wife. He's checked that out, so that should be okay.
Okay, great. Is there anyone from the public who has questions or comments? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
I would like to put a motion, and the motion will be approved as presented. Is anybody can second?
I see it. Yep.
Okay, I think the only question that I have is they shouldn't be in this part of the application. It should be at the where the change of the operation group. It shouldn't be over there. I don't care for myself. It doesn't matter, but it should be in another group for this application because it doesn't change anything at all. It's just only the models, the operation. It should be in the last group. Whatever it is perfectly fine. It's right here, and the other one is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong. But in any event, I think it has been operated for many years. We have to keep supporting this kind of business. No complaints. I never hear anything, and I think that's what we would like to hear always in our community. And welcome and good luck with your sole proprietorship in this business.
Thank you. Thank you.
Robert, I feel like you wanted to step in and say something.
No, I was going to say, Marco, we're now on change applications to the New York State Liquor Authority. So since this is a corporate change, that's why it's here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone.
Haas?
Have a good evening. Thank you.
No,
Yeah, wait a minute. You have an outdoor shed, or you used to, correct?
No, we took it out.
That's gone. Oh, okay, I haven't noticed. But your enclosed cafe is grandfathered, correct?
Yes, and they also have a permit for it as well. It's actually pretty small. It's between 2 to 5 tables, basically. Deuces, each table, 2 people.
Now, is that outside the enclosed cafe or inside?
It's on the sidewalk.
Outside.
Sidewalk.
They have between 2 to 5 tables outside their deuces, 2 people per table. That's about it.
Okay.
And they have an awning that they can put over it. That's about it.
So will you be applying to the DOT for that?
I believe they do have a permit for that. If I'm not mistaken, they do have a permit to do that.
Not under the new rule.
I would have to check that out, but I think so. But I believe they've been grandfathered in anyway. They've been doing this for like 13 years.
No. The enclosed is grandfathered. The outside is all new application to DOT.
I don't believe that is correct. I believe they had that outside for quite some time, but I will double check that. And if not, we'll certainly apply to get a permit for that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, and that's not really here or there on this specific question, but the point seems like it's noted from both sides. Bill?
I'd like to call the question.
Oh, fantastic. It's Marco, you're seconding it? Yes, okay, great. So if anyone's voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 10-0 unanimous approval. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Up next is Essex Market Leasing Company doing business as Jeremy's. Robert, if you could unmute Jeremy Schaller.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Jeremy Schaller. Just here with my attorney, Terry. I'll let most of the talking go to him, but I just wanted to introduce myself and thank you all for having us tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is an alteration application made to include 2 tables and 4 seats in the small sidewalk area outside of the premise, and to add a back patio area where there would be tables and chairs. Roughly, there's 3 4 tops, and then there are 10 deuces for a total of 32 seats. The hours that we are requesting are Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 5 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. I know by the previous application, you want to cut those hours back, but that was what we were asking for before we came here this evening. We're happy to answer any questions you have. We have been operating at this location for a couple of years now, and we haven't had any problems.
Okay, so to be clear, this is a liquor application to have service in both the back patio area as well as an out front area. This is not the determination of the legality of that out front area. That will be a second consideration. Is that your understanding of what's happening here?
Well, that's correct. The 2 tables in the out front and the 4, we're filing under the DOT. But because we're doing that, we're letting you know everything is being done, so you have the entire picture of what we're trying to achieve here.
Okay, and if I understand correctly, you're asking for later hours, but you would agree to a stipulation that says the outdoor parts are closed by 10 p.m.?
Jeremy?
I just want to say, I think that the DOT regulations, the standard DOT regulations, do allow for outdoor service until midnight. And I'm just curious on why we don't follow those guidelines.
Yeah, so they set sort of like the basement or the ceiling, depending on how you look at it, and then each individual community board gets to weigh in and say in their communities if they'd like to have sound, noise, people, smoke, whatever that comes along with those to cease earlier. They have the abilities to ask businesses to do those in their stipulations for their liquor licenses.
Okay. It's only 2 tables, but I mean, we'll go along with the guidelines of the community board if that's what's required. So,
and Lindsay, just to make sure that we're all on the same page with Terry and Jeremy, this is the alteration to the liquor license, not for the Department of Transportation. That would come after.
Right. We just covered the issue but we wanted you to know that we are doing the 2 tables and 4 seats in front. So I would hate to come here and think that you thought we were trying to blow something by you. We wanted to give you the entire picture of what was being done here.
Okay. And then I have one more question before we go to members of the public and the rest of the committee. I understand that inside there is on occasion employee dancing or burlesque. Are those things going to be limited to the indoor components, or will there be outdoor parts of that as well?
No, there's no music outside, as you know, that's prohibited anyway. So there won't be any music outside or anything like that. This is just for the seating and the service.
Okay. Are there any members of the public that have questions or comments for Terry or Jeremy? Seeing none, let's go to Barbara Rutter.
And I wouldn't be against this, but I know that you have a very active takeout, I think, more of sausage, takeout. So you have your Shalom and Weber grocery store, and then you have the takeout. That does get a lot of people. What does that have to do with the restaurant? And will that be closed? I assume it's all one operation?
No, it is not. It's a totally different tax ID, different operation. I'm the only owner of Jeremy's, and my family and myself are the owners of Schaller and Weber.
Mm-hmm.
And that sausage place, mostly sausage.
That is also owned by my family. It's part of Schaller and Weber.
Okay, and you are going to have a patio?
We will. We're asking for it.
And with outdoor seating, is there any stipulation we're going to have about time? The hours for outdoor seating in the patio?
Well, Barbara, we just talked about this is going to be a 10 p.m. stipulation that they'll agree to, but right now we're
also for the patio also. Okay.
Any of the outdoor parts, yeah.
Okay.
Marco?
Thank you. I strongly support usually all your business, but you just mentioned that you're going to have in the rear yard some tables. Is that correct? Did I hear correct?
We are
Yes.
asking for patio, yes.
How many tables or how many chairs?
32, I believe.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
32 was the count. The breakdown before, there's a diagram there, sir. You'll see 3, 4 tops, and then what you'll see is a banquette that goes along the back wall and L's, and that'll be 2 tops at that.
Do you
So-
have a certificate of occupancy that said that you are legally to use the rear yard?
Yeah, that is what we're getting now. We have to come here. It's all part of the same process, but yes, we will
Do
have
you
the
have it?
approval. Do we
Do
have
you
it? No,
have-
it's applied for. The architect is doing that work now.
Marco, we
Oh.
need your and your board's approval in order to follow that
Spend the money.
process. Yeah.
No, the DOB doesn't have nothing to do with us.
No,
They
no,
approve whatever they believe, and that's it.
no.
So
no,
they enforce the regulations.
That's correct, sir. What he was trying to say was until we knew how your committee was going to vote on this, we weren't going to expend all those extra monies. But the architect has been consulted and retained to do that work, which will be done right away if the meeting goes well and you vote to approve this.
So it sounds like you're saying you're unwilling or undesiring of opening a backyard unless there's the ability to serve alcohol in it.
I mean, it is a bar, so that's that we make our money. Yeah.
The issue what I perceive is next. Whoever you hire, it will complicate a lot the integrity of the inside of the space because it's required to have 2 means of egress. And that's going to reduce dramatically your inside operation. And at the time when you're going to see that, you probably will be very unhappy to do anything in the rear yard.
We already have that resolved, Marco. We have if you look at the whole thing, we own the 2 buildings, so we have the 2 forms of egress.
You had to build this. Do you have an easement?
Between Scheller and Weber, the 2
It's
buildings, the whole backyard, everything's connected.
No. Do you have an easement to do that? Just only I need to know. Because all these questions, they will raise DOB. And that is why we need to have the application at least to be filed, even though that unless
Marco,
the temporary TCO is issued, that's the only part I will feel comfortable. Otherwise, I feel uncomfortable.
Marco, just so you know, me and my family own all the buildings, and our architect has actually made the plans that do have the 2 forms of egress, show that we can have the people safely get out of there. There's 2 doors in the backyard, and they both go through the front of the building, and the fire escape in the backyard.
Yeah, I understand you very well. You can do that, but it has to be in the public records that there is an easement, because at any time you sell the buildings, the new owner will come and to close the door, and that's it. It's over. So it has to have an easement. It has to have a process. The attorney knows very well this process, and the issue is this is why the DOB has to let her know that it has been approved or not. I mean, personally, if you don't have nothing from DOB, it means it's very hard to approve anything in the rear yard. The rest, I do not have a problem.
I don't know how you can say that when you approve other spaces when their applications are pending for either a letter of no objection or a C of O. This is standard practice. People do not go out and expend and finish everything until they know what you come back and say. This is standard. For us, we control both buildings. The easement is absolutely no problem. The architect has already gave us the clearance that this is not a problem and it will be done. And we are going to undertake it once we know what happens here tonight. It's no different than somebody filing for a letter of no objection or coming to you and saying they're going to use a space and they have to change the C of O. They don't have that done before they come in to see you. It's part of the process that's ongoing. Otherwise, they won't be able to use it if they don't get what they tell you they're getting.
Respectfully, I'm a licensed architect. I know what I'm saying, sir. And what are you saying? That is not the proper procedure. The proper procedure is file and the building department approves. Once it's approved, even that it's approved, if they don't issue the temporary TCO, you won't even able to use the rear yard. Why? Because it has to have inspections from the Department of Buildings that is safety and is in compliance with all law and regulations. So that's the only thing I'm saying. My recommendation in this case, if I were you, is file an application, approve the application that you have, and then when you have the approval of the temporary TCO, you come back, and if you have the TCO, you will be approved.
No, well, that's where I disagree.
Because it's 32 people in the rear yard, sir. If you don't have properly issued the means of egress and all fire safety regulations, what you're doing is, in the event that there is a fire, people will be cornered and die. And that is why I think it's my input in this community board.
And now what I'm going to try and tell you is this is no different than when somebody applies to you and doesn't have their C of O done and doesn't have their letter of no objection done, but you yet approve them because of the fact that they are in the process of getting it. And if they don't have it, they won't be able to operate. If we don't get our clearances, we won't be able to operate. But we have to come to you first in order to know which way we're going, how many seats we're going to have, what hours we're going to have. And that's why we come to you and tell you everything. And that is why we need you to take a vote. I understand what you're saying, but we're willing to agree that we will get the proper approvals.
The only situation is, sir, letter of no objection doesn't cover anything beyond of the certificate of occupancy. The only thing the letter of the objection what it does is basically said, yes, this is a place that has been operating and is located within a commercial district, and that's it. It doesn't go beyond that. It's a brief opinion of the Department of Buildings. That's it.
Instead of continuing this back and forth, because we could continue going back for a long time, I want to go to Koss and see what he has, and then Russell, and then Addison.
I think we're spinning wheels here. I move to approve and call the question.
Are there any seconds to this? Yes, I see you have some from Russell. So let's go ahead and take a vote on here. If you are voting no, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please let me know. And I see Addison is back, so we'll be back at a denominator of 11. Marco?
I say no because I already explained. Thank you.
Okay, so this will go down as a 10-1 approval. If you'd like to come to the full board meeting on May 15th, you are certainly invited to do so.
Thank you very much. Have a very nice evening.
Thank you. All right. Now we are moving to the 30-day waiver applications. The first one that we have to hear from is Limu Poke Inc., doing business as KUU. Is there a representative? I see in the materials, Robert, that they said someone is coming tonight, but I don't see.
Yep, they did say someone is coming tonight. I'm trying to see. I do know, Lindsay, that we have our next 30-day waiver applicant. I actually just see an Arnold with their hand up. Do you want me to unmute Arnold?
Yeah, let's see if Arnold is the representative here. Hi, Arnold. Are you here with Limu Poke Inc.?
Hi. Yes. I was supposed to be, I guess, the backup representative. So I used to be a manager there. I'm still loosely involved in the business. Pet, P-H-E-T. I saw him in the chat earlier, or in the Zoom meeting earlier, is supposed to be representing us. But
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
so I can represent the company.
Okay.
So it's from my understanding that we fully submitted the application and checks to our lawyer's office. The checks got stolen or lost in the mail, so we missed the deadline, and we're just we resubmitted everything. We missed the 30-day deadline, but nothing is changing.
Okay. Cos?
Yeah, this is only a renewal. I move to approve and call the question.
Okay, seems like Marco seconds that. If there is anyone voting against this, not voting for cause or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a unanimous approval to allow the applicant 30 more days to come back. Bill, do you have something on this?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I'd like any of the applicants applying or speaking, I would prefer to have the camera turned on.
Okay, thank you. I can start the top of the meeting like that in the future too.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is going to be a unanimous approval, 11-0. Let's move on to the next applicant in this category, which is CB8M Inc. Hendrickson's. It looks like Connor Hendrickson is here. If you can unmute him, Robert.
Yes,
please.
I am. How
Hey,
are
you
you?
want to tell us
Hear
a
me?
little bit about why you're doing a 30-day waiver application?
Sure. So, first of all, I'd like to apologize for my lack of knowledge on the process. This is my first time renewing, as we have only been open for 2 years at the end of this month. I also did not receive notice from the SLA regarding the process on their end, so my attorney had to do a little bit of extra legwork, which helped my bank account a lot as far as getting the license renewed. There are no changes to our business at all. We have already received a renewal from the SLA as of May 1, so about 10 days ago, 9 days ago. So I'm just here to ask for your continued support and answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is to approve as presented. If anybody can second.
Bill seconds. Okay. Bill?
Well, if anyone want to speak, I'd like to go call the question.
Okay, sounds good. If anyone is voting against, not voting for cause, or abstaining, please let me know. Okay, then this will go down as a unanimous approval. We'll see you in 30 days or so.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right, now we're moving to the final portion of the applications that we have today, which is a new application to the Department of Transportation for a sidewalk cafe. The applicant is Secret Summer Hospitality Group, LLC, doing business as Festival. And I understand their representative is Festival Cafe, yes. Hi, welcome. Can you tell us about your business and your application here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Tyler Hollinger. I think I've spoken with most of you from time to time. We've been on the corner for 5 years now. I live directly across the street in the neighborhood. Lived there for almost 7.5 years. So I'm a big supporter of the community as well as our neighborhood. We're going to be removing our COVID dining structure on Monday, and we're going to be transitioning to the recommended sidewalk cafe. We're cocktails by day and we're dinner by evening. So really we're, a day and a night spot, a place to have coffee outside underneath the awning on the sidewalk, and some dinner later on. We don't hold late hours. We do have jazz music on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I encourage everyone to check it out. It's a really great evening.
Okay, so I had word from my co-chair, who's not here right now, that he'd like a stipulation that the outdoor shed is going to come down, but it sounds like you're saying that's already planned for Monday.
Yeah, it comes down Monday.
Okay. Is there anyone in the public who has questions or comments for the applicant? All right, so let's go to Judy, please.
Thank you, Lindsay. Tyler, I am very supportive of the merchants in our community. I think it's very important to the community and to the city. But I think you built an outdoor, a permanent structure. I think you never came to the community board about it. I don't know whether you got city approvals. You certainly didn't get our approval. I had spoken to your people, and I think to you, about how congested the sidewalk was. That's a very busy sidewalk because you lead up to the tram and the bridge, and there are a lot of people there. And people who live in that building and come from the side street had trouble getting by with their strollers. And it wasn't a good situation. Now, earlier today, Robert had posted that you were putting 10 tables and chairs. Then later tonight, Robert, I think I saw 5 tables. So how many tables and chairs are they actually putting out there?
Well, depending on the size of the table, it could be a small table, but on the application itself, with the measurements, I think we're looking at 5 tables, basically.
And they seat how many people?
The deuces seat 2 people, and the main table in the center will seat 4.
So you're going to have a table next to the building and then a table next to that, which again will make the sidewalk very crowded again and hard for people to pass. And Tyler, I have to make a statement now that I've never had to make in all the 30 years that I've had contact or more with the community board. You used my name as a reference. You never called me. You never asked me if you could use me as a reference. And I think that's way out of line. We've never had anybody come before the board who's done that before. And I think that's just not right. And I don't think I can support these tables and chairs without seeing a layout. I think it sounds like the sidewalk is going to be very crowded.
I apologize for that. I also put Robert down there. I thought you wanted references of people who were on the board or involved in the community. So that's my fault. And then when Robert pointed out that typo to me, I said, "Oh, yeah, no worries. I'll put other references." But I misread that as I thought you wanted references of people who were involved in the community board, because I know we've corresponded a couple of times. Regarding the clearance on the sidewalk, it will be 10 feet as mandated by Department of Transportation. And regarding the number of tables and chairs, it will be what I submitted to DOT in the diagram. If you open up the screenshot, you can see the image of the tables and the chairs.
Robert, is it possible for you to show that to us?
Yep, give me 1 second, Judy. I'll pull that up.
Okay, I would appreciate it.
And Judy, if you have the forms, it's page 319 out of
No, I'm sorry. I was going to another meeting and I was going to do this on the phone and it just didn't work. So
350
I'm
pages.
not prepared tonight. I apologize to my fellow board members for that.
There it is. Yep.
Okay. Are there 2 doors there?
Yes.
There's a door on the right and then there's a door in the center. Are those stairs? What is that in the center?
Fire escape.
On the street above, up above.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Robert. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. Marco?
Thank you. I would like to put a motion. The motion is approved, and then I would like to speak. Is anybody can second?
Sounds like Addison or looks like Addison. Okay.
Okay. So I think first of all, I had to applaud that you removed the existing structure. I hope that you remove right away. I think this is a great improvement if you do that. Secondly, I see the drawings. DOT usually require 8 feet wide for circulations. You put it 10. I think it's probably that's the new regulations. I think it's good, it's enough for good circulation. And I think let's go see what happened. And since we don't have no complaints or anything at all with the new with the new layout, I think I wish good luck and keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Cos?
I'm only going to do one thing now. I'm going to call the question.
Perfect. All right, if there's anyone here who's not voting for this, abstaining, or not voting for cause, please let me know. All right, this will go down as a unanimous approval with 11-0 as the final count. Now we don't have any old business. I don't know if anyone has any new business. Cos?
I think with these new applications coming in with DOT, I think we have to get some clarity from DOT. We're hearing the SLA first, then we're hearing DOT, or DOT first and SLA second. So I think we need some clarification on what the actual procedure is.
Okay, Will and Robert, does that sound like something that we can do a little more on?
Yeah, we're actively working on it. It is one of those situations where I don't think anybody in any agency knows exactly where everything, all the puzzle pieces are going to fit in. We've been reaching out to the SLA to get their input on when they're going to send things back to us for a new type of license or a new license that includes the ability to sell or distribute alcohol to tables on the street. It's unclear whether, if we don't have a stipulation or currently in our resolutions that we've approved about a liquor license that explicitly says no vending, no selling or whatever on the municipal property on the sidewalk, whether they're even going to send it to us. So we're working with the SLA. We're trying to get a meeting with them and the other district managers from Manhattan to meet with them about when they're going to actually send us or require, they're not going to send us, they're going to require the applicant to come and send us a new 30-day notice for a new license that they're going to have to apply for to actually, serve on the municipal property on the sidewalk. So it's unclear to all of us, but we're really trying to get all of the answers so that we can paint a better picture for the rest of you guys of what to expect.
What about, I think I asked for this some time ago. Can we get a photograph of the current situation with their submission? That way,
yeah, that's in their actual application. Cause if you scroll down to the bottom of their application, you'll see that there are photos of the illegal structure that was there.
Okay. Okay. Nothing else.
Judy?
Move to adjourn. And I just want to say, Lindsay, you did a great job on your own.
Thank you so much. It was easy because you all were here to help move everything along. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks for keeping this as timely as it was, and I'll see you all tomorrow.